All right, it's another edition of the Edgington Post Show. I am Mark Edge. And, well, I've got another interview here for the Free Talk Live audience. It's David Rodriguez. And, David, you there?
I am, Mark. Glad to be with you.
Yep. We're going to be talking today about Anarchapulco, which I am very excited to be going to. It's 2019, February, I can't remember, 14th through the 18th. Is that right?
Yes, 14th through 17th, and there's days on the front side and the back side, but that's the essence of it right there.
Right. There's so many days in the front and the back. Anarchapulco itself is the 14th through the 17th, but there are exciting things going on during it and before and after, including the Free Your Family camp, which you're coordinating. Is that right?
I'm coordinating the Advocacy Stage, and I'm speaking at the Free Your Family camp.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're going to get to that in a moment, but first I want to talk about Anarchapulco. I'm excited to go. So excited. I've had such a great time in the past going to Anarchapulco that I actually am going to be staying extra. We rented a little house down there for a month, and we're going to be staying in Acapulco some extra time, and I'm really excited to find out more about Acapulco.
Awesome. Great move. It's going to be a fun time for you, I think.
What can people expect? Why would voluntarists and libertarians and ANCAPs and these sorts of people want to go to Anarchapulco?
I think every ANCAP or voluntarist freedom person would love to come here because it's the event of the year. This is going to be my 5th year. I attended every year and spoke last year and helped out a couple years. But it's the event of the year because now there's going to be over 3,000 people, and these are people who are awake to what's going on with the state, and you don't have to persuade your friends or family about how this is organized crime and how they just steal your money and call it taxes and mass murder people and call it war. The people that you meet there, everybody almost is awake to these ideas, so you can actually have a genuine conversation, you can have connections, you can build relationships. I mean, some of my best friends are people that I met the first year in 2015, because once you see the state as the criminals that they are, and it's not to say that the agents of the state necessarily are, but it's compartmentalization there. But the organization based on coercion, I mean, this is a terrible organization that hurts a lot of innocent women and children and men as well. And so once you're able to see that, you can't unsee it. I mean, this is the challenge. And so once you come to Anarchapulco, you can meet other like-minded people who aren't going to judge you based on your left-right paradigm or who you voted for or anything like this. They're going to just judge you on your character, you're a nice person. If you travel, say I'm in California, so it's a 4 or 5 hour flight, and people come from the East Coast, and I mean, people come from all over the world. I think there's maybe 30 countries represented, but they come. Oh, it's super international. It's funny, the first year I attended, there was about 150 people. And I showed up one day before, and I went to the pool, and some other young guys, all these young guys, right? And he's like, are you for Anarchapulco? I'm like, yeah. He's like, there's a few of us hanging down here right by the beach. I'm like, great, let's go. I went down there. There were 7 of us. All of us were from different countries. There was Germany. There was Ukraine. There was Portugal, Sweden. All of us from different countries came by ourselves to meet other people. And that's how the event started with me 4 years ago. And I said, oh my gosh, man, these ideas aren't just in my head. They're not just in, Larkin Rose's mouth or Murray Rothbard or these other people that have these phenomenal ideas that have been talking about it for years. These ideas are starting to get traction. And not only that, this past year, you might have heard, Mark, but one of the great themes, and it's the reoccurring theme, is the quote by Buckminster Fuller. And that is, you never change reality by fighting against it. You got to create a new model that makes the old model obsolete. And so once you get to the point where, hey, politicians aren't going to solve the major problems. They might be able to do some patchwork, legalize marijuana, little stuff like that. But in terms of systemic coercion or systemic abuse of humans, peaceful humans, it's going to come from individuals. And so if you attend this event, I promise you're going to meet at least one awesome person. And if you're outgoing, maybe like you, Mark, or me, or some other people, you're going to come back with 5 or 10 new friends you can connect on Facebook or Minds or whatever social platform you're on. And then you can maintain a relationship with these people, continue the conversation, actually grow a friendship, and it becomes like a a very inspirational event because I was kind of depressed in 2012 when I saw Ron Paul get the election stolen from him. I'm like, man, like the state's just gonna dominate us, have their global government and chip us, and they want this serious plan. But when you start to find other people that are awake, they're intelligent, they have desires and dreams, and they want to do something with their life, you connect with them, and whether it's an artist or a business person or somewhere in between, a dancer, whatever it is, the common ground is that I'm not going to force you to do anything. You're not going to force me to do anything. Great, we can be friends. And from that strong foundation, a lot of friendships are made, and it's just a lot of fun. It's right there on the beach as well, as you know. I mean, you can literally walk out of your hotel room, hold your breath, and you can go touch the ocean water. I mean, it's that close, literally like a minute or two. They got restaurants there. It's just such a fun event, great people. And now this year, we're going to have the whole hotel. So there's going to be all kinds of different stages, all kinds of different entertainment, and just like unbelievable stuff that I recommend if you have the time, interest, and even if you gotta like borrow the money, come. But I mean, don't put yourself in financial straits. But it's worth it. I mean, this is the event of the year. This is the event I'm there every year because I meet new people, I get new inspiration, I get new ideas, and I start to have new courage to go out there and promote freedom and have real conversations about the important topic, which is voluntary relationships and self-ownership.
Yeah, I think that for me, Anarchapulco, and I've been to 4 of them, I believe. You've been to one more than I. And
that's awesome.
I think that it is the premier liberty event on the planet at this point. Yeah, it's going to be big this year, but I think it already was last year. It's amazing. Yes, it's pretty awesome when somebody who, they understand the ideas of liberty, but they haven't necessarily found a community, people that they can talk to. When they get to an event like this, they're immediately freed in a way that they haven't been before, because you're constantly kind of looking over your shoulder, wondering what people are thinking about you. You know, these ideas, they're radical by today's standards. I understand the idea that peace and voluntary interaction is radical is a sad testimony, but it doesn't change the fact that it is.
Right. It's unbelievable that it is. And I think it's wrapped up in the belief in the state. And this is why I have such respect and admiration for Larkin Rose, is he breaks it down to the simple, so we can understand that it's a belief. The state really is not anything. If you ever started a corporation, you send this piece of paper and money to the state, and they send you back another piece of paper, and you're like, you now have a corporation. You say, well, where's my corporation? It's here, this piece of paper. No, it's a belief. And so the state is the same thing, just corporate paperwork, fiction. And so it's really thinking like these other people have an authority over me, although I didn't consent to them, I didn't sign any contract with them. They just have authority because they have authority, because that's what we've always done. And so this is why I'm so passionate about the school system, because the school system trains children to basically yield their entire life and freedom to the state, and totally bypasses their self-ownership and who they are as a human being. I mean, originally, government's supposed to serve the humans, and now, as you know, maybe your listeners can see also, the government's taken over. I mean, I'm in California, they got forced vaccines out here, and this is in 2016, I think that law passed, and now there's other states that are following suit. So at what point do mom and dad and grandpa, grandma, and single people out there say, like, you guys are the criminals, man. Like, I just want to have voluntary interaction. I don't want any coercion. It's called win-win, or what's good for you is good for me. We'll become a business relationship or a friendship or nothing at all. But you guys using coercion, that is the problem. So I think, right now it seems like these ideas are radical, but I think as we start to use the clear language, like you mentioned, voluntary interaction, I think that is a key phrase that is going to continue to rise, because if we can differentiate between voluntary and coercive relationships, I think that's going to be a big breakthrough. And I really think this is the final red pill for human consciousness or human evolution, to realize that we're all powerful beings, whether someone believes in God or universe or evolution, whatever it is. Like, we are the ones. You are the one, and to forget that is a big mistake, I think. So the people here are super powerful, and many of them are grounded. There's plant medicines you can partake in. A lot of just like mind expanding things, and you don't even have to use substances. You know, you can do meditation and yoga, whatever it is. It's going to be a phenomenal event.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Free Your Family camp and the speaking that you'll be doing there?
Yeah, so the Free Your Family camp is really important because rather than segregate children away from the family, one of the things that the great producer Dana Martin has included is to integrate the children with other humans, right?
Because hold that thought for just 1 second. All right, back with David Rodriguez. I'm sorry, David, I interrupted you. You were talking about the Free Your Family camp that you're going to be giving a speech on. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. So what's great about the Free Your Family camp is that we are integrating the children into the freedom movement, because related to freedom is unschooling, right, which is 100% self-directed learning, or homeschooling, which is when a leader creates an atmosphere where personalized learning can occur, rather than the compulsory state monopoly school system, which is damaging kids for 12 years and basically teaching them to be obedient, teaching them to have reflexive habits, and to disregard their individual critical thinking, independent mind, and that's such a huge problem. So because the world's changing so fast, you and I are discussing here on the internet, the technology is just revolutionizing and disrupting so many industries. So if your child is going to be a leader or be advantaged, they're going to have to learn to teach themselves, to direct themselves, and that starts at a young age. Rather than using authoritarian type philosophies, we use peaceful philosophies, and Dana Martin calls it peaceful parenting. There's radical unschooling, and so what the work I've done so far is talking about the history of the school system. I'm also principal of a private school that focuses on apprenticeships and internships to help kids graduate early, to help them escape the prison of forced schooling. So I'll be talking about the history of the school system, and there's going to be actually a lot of other speakers. I don't know all the speakers. I think there's about 15 other speakers there at the Free Your Family camp. But the idea is to bring the children in, because the children, they're the ones. And if they can get these ideas at a young age, of self-ownership, and you need permission, you can't just force me to do stuff, they actually become sometimes more powerful than the adults.
Yeah. They don't have the stuff in the way mentally that the adults do. They can see it very clearly, very quickly, what coercion is and what how people are forced into doing things, and they see they're in the schools. They know what it's like. So it's I think it's a great opportunity.
It really is. And there's also the stage that I'm coordinating is the Advocacy Stage, and we haven't released the speaker names yet, but we're going to be talking about how you can build your own freedom tribe, because as the technology expands, we don't want to be a number. We don't want to just be, a cog in the wheel. People have their own interests, so there's to be a talk about building your own freedom tribe. Entrepreneurship as freedom. We're going to have some workshops regarding that. So if you want to learn to become an entrepreneur, because this is a new skill, you can learn to do that. And also understanding the deep tactics that the state uses to basically mind control you, and they teach what's called learned helplessness. So rather than physically imprisoning you, you imprison yourself. You are the jailer of your own mind, and this is all conscious. I mean, they have a systemized way of doing that. So, and also if you know of anybody, I have a few slots available, that someone who can bring it. I mean, bring the freedom advocacy, the empowerment, and really deliver a great message. Feel free to email me at drodriguez@anarchapulco.com. There's a few slots available, but what we have so far is going to be amazing, and it's all about getting the solutions out there and the empowerment and building the trust not only for the kids and the family, but also for the adults that want to do something. And sometimes the hardest thing that we find is, what do you do, right? Once you take the red pill, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, yes, the Federal Reserve, the military industrial complex, the medical industrial complex, IRS, you're like, what do I do? And that's where the first year I was so happy, because I didn't know why I came to Anarchapulco other than I want to go meet some freedom people and maybe have a margarita on the beach. There was no deep intention other than I want to connect with some people and do something with my life, And so little by little start to build up. And I just recommend, if you have some interest, check it out, look into it, look at some of the videos too. Some of the media team is doing a great job on the YouTube website of Anarchapulco. Some of the speakers, Judge Andrew Napolitano. These are some high level people that are going to be there as well. So there's going to be multiple stages, and you'll be able to create your own experience. Whatever is of interest to you, then you can come and hang out at this little pool, or the main stage, or side stages, or at the beach, or last year we went on jet skis in the ocean. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, man. It's really cool.
That's right. Go to Anarchapulco.com. That's Anarchapulco.com. When you check out, use coupon code FTL and you'll get a discount. That's great. But if nothing else, go and subscribe to the newsletter so that you can find out what's going. Because maybe you're on the fence on this. That's fine. I think it's a great event. I think it's well worth doing. I'm so on board with it that Anarchapulco isn't paying me to do these ads. I'm doing them because I want to go. I'm really excited about being there, and I want it to be the greatest event that they've ever had, which is already the greatest event I've ever been to. So please, Anarchapulco.com. Come out, see Free Talk Live, use coupon code FTL, or sign up for their newsletter. Don't worry, you'll get the newsletter if you buy a ticket. Anarchapulco.com. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Mark. We'll see you there.